All right, welcome back to our last session of Drop Everything and Read before spring break. It's Friday, March 27th. Yesterday in our reading, we had a pretty interesting confrontation between Mr. Lewis and the police, and ultimately, Mr. Lewis was regarded as a snitch. But we know, again, one of the themes throughout the book is code switching. So Mr. Lewis is code switching in front of the officers. It shows how deeply the knowledge of police brutality is in Garden Heights. So you want to be up front to avoid getting beaten, is where he was coming from. But Maverick is ultimately the one who's targeted because he doesn't conform to the white notions of respectability. He wants to stand up for his rights. And as they say, he's confronted by that black police officer, and they took his arms behind his back and slammed him to the ground. The perpetrators of this police brutality, they don't have to be white, but the assumptions about the criminality of anyone linked to Garden Heights just gets them in trouble right out of the gates. And we need to start finding ways to prevent this from happening in the real world. Then Mr. Lewis and Maverick went back to the store. They resolved their differences. They talk about their shared understanding of racism. And sometimes you just have to endure certain things, like suck it up and get through it. Another thing was Kenya and Star started talking. And Kenya overhears things and calls Star a coward for not speaking up on behalf of Khalil. She says that if Khalil were from Williamson, Star would have defended him. And Kenya's words are a turning point for Star as they force her to accept that she has the duty to use her voice. Again, the voice is the strong weapon. So let's see how this all unfolds. As we know, Kenya left saying, "What's to understand? A lot. I don't mean to yell, but damn, I can't go around telling people everything. Why not? Because you ain't see what the cops just did to my dad." Again, slamming him to the ground and hands behind. Because they know I'm the witness. So you're going to let the police stop you from speaking out for Khalil? I thought you cared about him way more than that. I do. I care more than she may ever know. I already told the cops. I already talked to the cops, Kenya. Nothing happened. What else am I supposed to do? Go on TV or something. I don't know, she says. Tell everybody what really happened that night. They're not giving his side of the story. You're letting them trash talk him. Excuse? How the hell am I letting them do anything? You hear all the stuff they're saying about him on the news, calling him a thug and stuff, and you know that ain't Khalil. I bet if he was one of your private school friends, you'd be all on TV defending him. Are you for real? Yeah, she says. You dropped him from them bougie kids, and you know it, or for them bougie kids. You probably would have dropped me if I didn't come around, because of my brother. That's not true. You sure? I'm not. Kenya shakes her head. It's effed up. The effed up part about this. The Khalil I know would have jumped on TV in a hot second and told everybody what happened that night if it meant defending you. And you can't do the same for him. It's a verbal slap. The worst kind, too, because it's the truth. Kenya gets her bags. I'm just saying, Star, if I could change what happens at my house with my mama and daddy, I would. Here you are with a chance to help change what happens in our whole neighborhood, and you're staying quiet, like a coward. Kenya leaves. Tim and Mr. Lewis aren't far behind her. Tim gives me the black power fist on his way out. I don't deserve it, though. I head to Daddy's office. Seven standing in the doorway, and Daddy's sitting on the desk. Sakani's next to him, nodding along to whatever Daddy's saying, but looking sad. It reminds me of the time Daddy and Mama had the talk with me. I guess Daddy decided not to wait until Sakani's 12. Daddy sees me. Sev, Seven, go cover the cash register. Take Sakani with you. About time he learned. Ah, man, Sakani groans. Don't blame him. The more you learn to do at the store, the more you're expected to do at the store. Daddy pats the now empty spot beside him on the desk. I hop up onto it. His office has just enough space for the desk and a file cabinet. Framed photographs crowd the walls, like the one of him and Mama at the courthouse the day they got married. Her belly, aka me, big and round, pictures of me and my brothers as babies, and this one picture from about 7 years ago when my parents took the three of us to the mall for one of those JCPenney family portraits. They dressed alike in baseball jerseys, baggy jeans, and Timberlands. Yeah, tacky. You all right? Daddy asks. Are you? I will be, he says. I just hate that you and your brothers had to see that. They only did it 'cause of me. Nah, baby. They started that before they knew about you. But that didn't help. I stare at my J's as I kick my feet back and forth. Kenny called me a coward for not speaking out. She didn't mean it. She's going through a lot, that's all. King throwing Aisha around like a rag doll every single night. But she's right. My voice cracks. I'm this close to crying. I'm a coward. After seeing what they did to you, I don't want to say anything now. Hey, Daddy takes my chin, so I have no choice but to look at him. Don't fall for that trap. That's what they want. If you don't want to speak out, that's up to you. But don't let it be because you're scared of them. Who do I tell you that you have to fear? Nobody but God and you and Mama, especially Mama when she's extremely pissed. He chuckles. Yeah, the list ends there. You ain't got nothing or nobody else to fear. You see this? He rolls up his shirt sleeve, revealing the tattoo of my baby picture, on his upper arm. What's it say at the bottom? Something to live for, something to die for, I say without really looking. I've seen it my whole life. Exactly. You and your brothers are something to live for and something to die for, and I'll do whatever I gotta do to protect you. He kisses my forehead. If you're ready to talk, baby girl, you talk. I got your back. What a nice moment for a father and daughter to have in terms of making decisions about the right thing to do. We've all heard the phrase snitches get stitches. While in this case, they're afraid that snitches will get ditches, as we heard earlier in the text. But even Star's father, Maverick, is letting her know that your voice is powerful, but it's your voice. You choose to use it when you're ready to use it. And let's see if this next passage is where Star speaks up. Ultimately, she's trying to in her own way. Let's see one step closer. I'm luring Bricks inside when it passes out front. I watch it crawl down the street for the longest time till I get the sense to alert somebody. Daddy! So what could be passing out front? I wonder what it is. He looks up from pulling weeds. Around his bell peppers. Are they for real with that? The tank. So there's a tank rolling into town. The tank resembles the ones they show on the news when talking about war in the Middle East. It's the size of 2 Hummers. The blue and white lights on the front make the street almost as bright as it is in the daytime. An officer is positioned on top wearing a vest and a helmet. He points his rifle ahead. A voice booms from the armored vehicle. All persons found violating the curfew will be subject to arrest. Daddy pulls more weeds. That's some BS. Bricks follows the piece of bologna I dangle in front of him all the way to his spot in the kitchen. He sits there all content chopping on it and the rest of his food. Bricks won't act crazy as long as Daddy's home. All of us are kind of like Bricks, really. Daddy being home means Mama won't sit up all night, Saquani won't flinch all the time, and Seven won't have to be the man of the house. I'll sleep better, too. Daddy comes in, dusting cake dirt off his hands. Them roses dying, Bricks. Bricks, have you been pissing on my roses? Bricks' head perks up. He locks his eyes with Daddy's, but eventually lowers his head. I bet not catch you doing it, Daddy says, or we gonna have a problem. Bricks lowers his eyes, too. I can almost picture the conversation between Mavs and the dog. I love dogs. I really wish I had a dog at home. How many of you have dogs? Yeah, I know, there's a lot of hands up. I grab a paper towel and a slice of pizza from the box on the counter. This is like my 4th slice tonight. Mama bought 2 huge pies from Sal's on the other side of the freeway. Italians own it, so the pizza is thin, herby, is that a word? And good. You finished your homework, Daddy asks. Yep, a lie. He washes his hands at the kitchen sink. Got any tests this week? Trig on Friday. You studied for it? Yep, another lie. Good. He gets the grapes out of the refrigerator. You still got that old laptop? The one you had before we bought that expensive fruit one? I laugh. It's an Apple MacBook, Daddy. It damn sure wasn't the price of an apple. Anyway, you got the old one? Yeah. Good. Give it to Seven. Tell him to look over it and make sure it's all right. I want Devontae to have it. Why? You pay bills? No. Then I ain't got to answer that. That's how he gets out of almost every argument with me. I should buy one of those cheap magazine subscriptions and say, yeah, I pay a bill. And what? It won't matter, though. I head to my room after I finish my pizza. Daddy's already gone to his and Mama's room. Their TV's on, and they're both lying on their stomachs on the bed. one of her legs on his as she types on her laptop. It's oddly adorable. Sometimes I watch them to get an idea of what I want one day. So she admires her parents' relationship. You still mad at me about Devonte? Daddy asks. She doesn't answer, keeping her eyes on her laptop. He scrunches up his nose and gets all in her face. You still mad at me? Huh? You still mad at me? She laughs and playfully pushes him. Move, boy. No, I'm not mad at you. Just give me a grape. He grins and feeds her a grape, and I just can't. The cuteness is too much. Yeah, they're my parents, but they're my OTP. Seriously. Daddy watches whatever she's doing on the computer, feeding her a grape every time he eats one. She's probably uploading the latest family snapshots on Facebook for our out-of-town relatives with everything that's going on. But what can she say? Sakani saw cops harass his daddy, but he's doing so well in school. Proud mom, or hashtag proud mom, or Star saw her best friend die. Keep her in your prayers, but my baby made the honor roll again. Hashtag blessed. Or even tanks are rolling by outside, but Seven's accepted into 6 colleges so far. Hashtag he's going places. I go to my room. Both my old and new laptops are on my desk, which is a mess. There's a huge pair of Daddy's Jordans next to my old laptop. The yellowed bottoms of the sneakers face the lamp, and a layer of saran wrap protects my concoction of detergent and toothpaste that'll eventually clean them. Watching yellowed soles turn icy again is as satisfying as squeezing a blackhead and getting all the gunk out. Amazing. According to the lie I told Daddy, my homework is supposed to be done, but I've been on a Tumblr break, also known as I haven't started my homework and I've spent the last 2 hours on Tumblr. I started a new blog, The Khalil I Know. It doesn't have my name on it, just pictures of Khalil. In the first one, he's 13 with an afro. Uncle Carlos took us to a ranch so we could get a taste of country life, and Khalil's looking side-eyed at a horse that's beside him. I remember him saying, if this thing makes a wrong move, I'm running. On Tumblr, I captioned the picture, the Khalil I know was afraid of animals. I tagged it with his name. One person liked it and reblogged it, then another and another. That made me post even more pictures, like one of us in a bathtub when we were 4. You can't see our private parts because of all the suds, and I'm looking away from the camera. Miss Rosalie's sitting on the side of the tub, beaming at us. And Khalil is beaming right back at her. I wrote, the Khalil I know loved bubble baths, almost as much as he loved his grandma. In just 2 hours, hundreds of people have liked and reblogged the pictures. I know it's not the same as getting on the news like Kenya said, but I hope it's helped. I hope it helps. It's helping me at least. Other people posted about Khalil, uploaded artwork of him, posted pictures of him that they show on the news. I think I've reblogged every single one. We'll pause there for now. We'll be back with link number 2 to end our deer for these virtual learning weeks. Then you'll have spring break next week, and we'll get back into the book after spring break. But one more link coming up. You'll see that momentarily.